Warhammer 40,000 is the most popular wargame in the world. With an ever-growing community of passionate fans, Warhammer has become more popular than ever.
My name's John, and for the last 20 years I've been playing Warhammer, I guess. And for maybe since the middle of the pandemic, when nobody could do anything, I started a YouTube channel, just talking about the army that I play, which is Blood Angels. And at the moment, the channel's just passed 12,000 subscribers. So it's kind of more than I had hoped for, honestly, but that's where we are just now. The local game store had Warhammer, and it just looked like, well, it was just armored marines with guns against orcs, and that's where it all started for me. So I honestly probably could have bought any game when I was 10. I was a 10-year-old in a hobby store with money, and I could have just bought anything, but I guess Warhammer attracted me.
My name is Michael, and I am the owner and operator of Wandering Adventures, a tabletop gaming store. With Warhammer, the big interesting point is the lore. Well, that's what first drew me in, and that's what kind of keeps me going. It's a living game that they constantly update, and once I found my way into it through a series of novels, it really kept me engaged.
It is creative, and it is also therapeutic. In some ways, it's like an escape from reality. I just find the painting side of it, just the completion, probably the completion side. When I'm doing painting and stuff, I enjoy the time, but it's more about the ultimate, finishing models and putting them on a shelf and feeling proud of stuff.
With the hobby overall, there's just so many parts that you can engage in that makes it so unique. That creative side for more artsy people, that math side for more your people that like to see numbers and things that make sense, and then that lore side for people that are really into just fantasy universes.
Warhammer is all about making friends and having fun, right? Everything else is secondary to me now, I think. As much as I want to go to tournaments and I want to win tournaments, etc., I just want to make friends and have fun and make sure that, I want it when I'm at an event, if someone plays against me, maybe somebody doesn't, sometimes I go to an event, people know me from the channel, sometimes they don't know me at all, but I like it at the end of the game if they've just said that was the most fun I've had all weekend at this game, you're a really good opponent. That's what I'm aiming for, I think, now. When
I had started the game, it was kind of embarrassing going into the store with my little box of plastic men, and there were some experiences being at the store where you were a little embarrassed or shy. But I think now, with as widespread as superheroes and Dungeons and Dragons, and some of the best television is as fantasy as it gets, and some of the most money is spent in television is on Lord of the Rings, The Witcher, these kinds of properties that are just super steeped in the fantastical, that I don't think it has that stigma anymore. I think people that come into the store are proud to be here.
I hope the world's getting to a place where everything is more inclusive and people wouldn't have a stigma. I think Warhammer is probably less stigmatized than Dungeons and Dragons. I don't really know why in my mind. I just think that Dungeons and Dragons are very old IP, and people might think of it as older, so Warhammer maybe has an advantage that way. I mean, I never let it bother me. If I wanted to play Warhammer or if I wanted to play Dungeons and Dragons, I just did it.
Yeah, I get a lot of joy seeing how much other people enjoy their little finer moments, I guess, in the hobby.
I think it's going to get bigger because they're going to do some movies or some TV shows with Henry Cavill obviously piloting it, and that's going to be big just because it's Henry Cavill.
And then, of course, there's the whole, Amazon buying the IP for this game and taking it to film and television, which I think is going to be a unique time for this hobby. Games Workshop is very protective about their IP, and they're very selective of who they let touch it other than themselves. So this going to someone like Amazon, who has a lot of money, it's going to be a very interesting time for the hobby.